Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. For those who don't know me, I'm Yewande Falayan. I am a former McKinsey consultant and Morgan Stanley VP turned founder, CEO, and certified leadership coach. I'm also the creator of the Legacy Level Leadership Program, which is a 6-month private leadership accelerator for leaders and high achievers who want to achieve more success without the overwhelm and without the burnout. And as we are, and I'm super excited, kicking off our most recent cohort soon, I've been getting loads of questions about the program. So I thought I'd get super efficient and answer the key questions today. So this is a bit of an impromptu live, and hopefully I'll get through kind of the key questions. But so far, the main thing is really being able to answer the questions. And so if you guys want to learn more, this is the perfect video for you. If you've got this far in the video, based on what I've said, you are likely in one of three camps. One, you are 90%, 95% maybe sure that you want to come into the program, join our cohort of amazing leaders and amazing high achievers, and really just want to feel reassured and get that final reassurance that this is 100% right for you so that you can move forward in your transformation. The second group of people who might be watching, you know a little bit about me, you know a bit about my work, my approach. It seems like it kind of resonates and there might be a fit, but you want to learn more, and video versus text is your preference. So this is a great opportunity for you to really get to that decision. So you either move forward or elsewhere, right, in that decision. And then the third, maybe you're just a little bit curious about what this legacy level leadership thing is that I've mentioned. And so join for the ride, and I'll definitely share that. If you're in one of those three categories, you are definitely in the right place. And my aim for this Q&A is to leave you with clarity, one way or the other. So if you get to the end and you go, yes, this feels right, intuitively it feels right, then you move on to the next step so that we can help you discover more of the success that you truly want. And regardless of that, I'm really going to focus on answering questions, the most common ones that have come through around what legacy level leadership is, as well as what our program entails, who the program is created for and who it's not for, which is extremely important, how you can determine whether it will work for you. And then finally, for those who are in and they're ready to go and become legacy level leaders and transform their lives now, how you can apply today. So let's kick off because there are lots of questions that came in, and hopefully I can answer all of them or as many as possible. So the first question, what is this legacy level leadership thing? Legacy level leadership is it's a concept that I created. And the whole idea behind it is that we often, when we think about leadership, compartmentalize it. We go, I want to achieve this leadership position, and therefore I work towards that. And my clients have big, ambitious goals, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And that's important to focus on. However, we often don't focus beyond that because remember, it's not about whether you're a leader or if you're a leader or what the badge says about your leadership. It's about how well you lead. So when we think about legacy level leadership is setting yourself up for success for not just the next position, but anything that comes your way, whether professionally or personally, and setting your leadership up for success so that you can be the best leader that you can and you want to be regardless of the situation. So the legacy piece is this is about stepping up in your leadership. So you are looking at becoming the leader that you want that will support you throughout this legacy that you're creating in your life, right? And it's not just financial, it could be in family, it could be in other areas of your life, but it's really to think about that longevity, which will help you with your specific goal, but beyond that. Because sustainability is a key value of ours at OTTOS. So it's really creating that sustainable leadership model that works for you and that's unique for you, okay? So now that we know that, what is the Legacy Level Leadership Accelerator program? And the program was created to help business leaders and serial high achievers leap into the life that you truly want by upskilling your leadership skills, mindset, and performance. It's purposely called an accelerator. I'm not a fan of throwing spaghetti at the wall. I'm not a fan of doing all the things, right, until something works. This is extremely strategic. So what I've done is really taken experience, knowledge, expertise from my work at McKinsey, where I was leading high-performing teams to success across lots of different industries, working with and supporting C-suite clients around the world, right, around what leadership looks like there, around my time at at Morgan Stanley, where I was a leader in the prime brokerage division, supporting hedge funds throughout my career, as well as my experience as a certified leadership coach. And so it's really taking all of that, recognizing your uniqueness, and then moving us forward and going, all right, what is sustainable going forward? How can we accelerate your leadership, not by telling you to do all the things, but by pinpointing, identifying the main things for you that will create that shift and create that change, which is why we look at not just the skill side, but also mindset, which I am a certified coach in those concepts, as well as performance. And I'm also certified in that. So taking all of that holistically to accelerate you so that at the end of the program, after 6 months, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how far I've come. And I have confidence that going forward, I can sustain that in the future. So we're really looking for, the program is all about big transformations. And the theme with, I would say, I'd say 100% of my clients is really moving into more meaningful, more impactful senior leadership positions. So examples of what that could look like and what my clients have gone through is building the leadership skills that are necessary for you to be a successful entrepreneur and a business owner after a decade in corporate. So I have a client who, quit a very successful consulting career where she had a great trajectory to start her own business. What does leadership look like there, and how do we create success there? Or developing your people leadership skills, particularly when it comes to leading senior clients so that you can accelerate into a more senior executive or management role. There's a whole discussion around sponsorship. We talk about that, but then now we think, how can you be authentic in moving into more senior leadership positions so that you can achieve what you want without compromising on who you feel like you are? And another example is demonstrating executive presence and thought leadership when you are new to a company or industry and still want to accelerate. So not stopping your acceleration, regardless of the fact that you might be the newbie, right? I say newbie because none of us are new. We all have experience. So how do you leverage those strengths and experience? How do you get out of your head, which is telling you that you can't because you're the newest or you're the youngest or whatever it is, which are things that will come up throughout the whole of your life. How do we create strategies that helps you to address those? And then not just being successful on paper, but also feeling fulfilled and satisfied in that work in a way where you have greater impact, you have greater influence, and you have greater power. Because sometimes when we look at leadership, if you pause and think about it, and this happens with a lot of my clients, what we find is that you're in a leadership position or you're moving towards a more senior leadership position, but you're not truly in leadership of your life. So it's really taking back that control and figuring out how can you be that leader that you want to be in a way that achieves the success that you want in the way that you want. Okay, so those are just a few examples. But again, the program is all about helping you accelerate towards being the leader that you want without the imposter syndrome, still with confidence, still with authenticity that enables you to achieve what it is that you want, knowing and building the skills, right? Leadership skills, leadership mindset, leadership performance that will hold you in good stead going forward. All right, next question or set of questions all around who's the program for. So am I eligible for the program? Well, there's only one way to really find out. It's by applying and having us have a chat, so we can discuss specifically for you. But generally, and I'll share this. So our clients are, as I said, primarily serial high achievers, and they have a track record of success, right? Often you have a pretty impressive CV. You've always had drive. But what you're doing, you've recognized that what you've been doing before isn't working now. Or even if it is working, it either feels like it's too slow or it's extremely effortful, right? You're still churning through, you're still doing the things, ticking off the boxes, but it just doesn't feel right. And it's not clear and you feel a little bit stuck as to how you move to that next position. So you could be in a position where you've got a great trajectory at work, you're on the cards to get to the next executive level or your first executive level step. If you keep doing the things that you think you need to do, you're pretty confident that you will get there eventually, but you feel a little bit stuck because maybe you're thinking, well, I can keep doing that, but it doesn't feel authentic. I don't feel confident in doing that. Or you feel confident and authentic in doing it, but then you're like, this is going too slow. I don't know what levers I need to turn or push to move faster. Okay. Who else is it for? So again, those who are working on big transformations. So Something that if the goal or challenge that you're thinking about is, of course, kind of specific to leadership and achieving the success that you want, and it's something that you feel will either take like 6+ months to achieve, or you've been working on and thinking about it for more than 6 months and haven't made the traction that you want, then this is probably right for you. A great example of that is confidence. The number of times that I speak to clients initially, or prospective clients, and they say, oh, I've been working on this confidence thing for ages, right? I just never feel confident when I'm in front of significantly more senior people. And I know that that's holding me back. Or I know that I'm not fulfilling my full potential because the fear of failing is keeping me from playing full out. And that's been going on for as long as I can remember throughout my career. Let's break the cycle, right? I've worked with enough people where we've been able to break that cycle, and it can happen for you too. Who else is this for? Often corporate professionals or startup professionals. But and I work I work primarily, or the people within our cohorts are primarily in the consulting or finance space, but not exclusively. So just something to think about. Either you've been in that space, you're interested in that space, you're moving on to that space, you want to move on to that space. Generally, those are the people that get the most out of the program, but again, not exclusively. So if there's a question for you, then let's get on a call and have a chat. And then often people who are working in very high pressure situations. So even when you're happy with your success, maybe you feel pressured, you feel overwhelmed, you feel burnt out, it's not sustainable. And even if it was, it's probably just not a really nice place to be. So I spent a lot of my career in very high pressure situations, and that's where my expertise is and in working with people who also do that and helping them get out of that rat race, regardless of what's going on outside. And then finally, while there isn't, in terms of eligibility, while there aren't any specific years of work that we look for, but you've probably been through at least one promotion, if not two, and often with 7+ years of work. But again, that's not concrete. But guidelines, if most of this resonates with you, what I've just said, if that feels like a fit for you, maybe not every single thing, but generally resonates, then this might be a fit. It might be right for you. And so I would say, let's chat about this. All right. What's the next question? How is the program structured? So very high level, it's a 6-month program, and you will meet with a group. So it is a group program. I'll speak a little bit about one-on-ones shortly. And it's I do like a very small, intimate group, definitely nothing more than 10, but on average, it's probably between 4 and 7. And the idea is that we are meeting on a regular basis. So we often meet about 3 times a month. So you get that weekly cadence, but then you also get space to really integrate the learnings. And there is a combination of different styles of development, which is all down to kind of coaching expertise that helps move and shift people forward. The advantage of the group program is, of course, you learn from each other. However, I will be leading and therefore coming with strategies, ideas, things that will help you create that shift. Again, in the areas of leadership skills, leadership mindset, and leadership performance, because they are all critical to creating that shift and creating sustainable shift as well. And in terms of weekly, because I know I hear the question of what is the time commitment? Well, first of all, I would say if this is important, then it's about prioritizing the time as opposed to seeing whether or not you have the space. And because a lot of what we do, which goes back to structure, is around integrating it into like real life. So for example, we do role plays and really give each other feedback so that you feel really prepared to take it in. Outside of the 1-hour sessions, which we do, again, 3 times a month, you may have blanked out a little bit, but I'm coming back because I was thinking about something else. But you may have an action, or we each have actions at the end of our session so that you go out and implement. So within the sessions, you get to practice that so that you're really confident and see other styles and ideas, as well as get expertise, advice, and suggestions and coaching from me. And then when you go out, the time commitment is important because it's all about integrating it into your life. So to give you a concrete example, if we were talking about people leadership in a session, and I provided, tactical examples of how that works and coached you on that. And by the end, you said, well, in my next meeting, I want to start the meeting with by taking control and having a really clear agenda of what that looks like, then part of the time commitment is then doing that action, but it is integrated into what it is that you want to transform. So it's not a case of going away and doing, like, this is not lecturing, this is not a school, this is not training, this is coaching. And it's coaching to move you from where you are to where you want to be. Therefore, it's not about going away and doing a test. It's about integrating it into your everyday. And we create concepts and habits, which goes back to the performance piece and my expertise in performance coaching around how you can integrate that performance into your everyday so that it becomes seamless and effortless, and that transformation happens on a consistent basis. All right. Next question. Might one-on-one, oh no, that's not the next question. Next question, there we go. What is the financial commitment? Yes. So financial commitment, and we'll talk about this when I go through the application process, but it is pay in full is £5,000. And of course, you can pay in other currencies, but just the equivalent of £5,000. And there is an option which is both pay in full as well as a payment plan. And I'll talk about that when we go into the application process. It's important to know and also to remember that financial commitment is one measure, but it's not the only measure, because ultimately it's the time and energy that we put in to the investment that makes the big difference. Might one-on-one coaching, private coaching be better for me? And what's the difference? So again, if you do apply, the first thing is we have a chat to really assess some of these questions for you. But the quick answer is one-on private coaching, for the most part, are generally, again, not always, but generally for more senior clients in executive and C-suite roles. So startup founders, CEOs at companies, CTOs, et cetera. And it's often where what you're trying to achieve, there's a lot that we need to get through. And so what I do is partner with clients over a period of time. And yes, we have set sessions, but you have access to me on a one-on-one basis pretty much anytime as you're having challenges or as you're trying to achieve goals. So I would say that if what I've said so far resonates, and you are also looking for leadership skill development, not just kind of the coaching part, then the group coaching is probably maybe better, or maybe a better fit. If you are kind of more senior and more experienced in leadership, and what you're really looking for is to hone the areas that are holding you back from your acceleration, and maybe you don't need necessarily the skill piece, like the building of the skill, but kind of the refinement, then one-on-one private coaching may be better. And if you just want a space where it's just one other person as opposed to others, right? And really getting that in-depth, intensive coaching. But again, we can discuss that if you go ahead and apply, and we can chat about it, whether either my group program or private coaching is a good fit or something else. Okay. And then I want in, why can't I just apply and pay online? So this has come up. So yeah, you're ready to invest. Why can't you just play and get in? Two main reasons. First, a significant part of the group program that will enable you to propel yourself to success really comes from the group partnership. So access and expertise of the other members. Therefore, we take pride in ensuring the integrity and success of the program by curating members. And it's not necessarily to say that you're not right for it, but making sure that we've got a good group that we feel will be able to support each other and learn from each other. Because part of it is, as you also input into other people, you will learn and grow in your leadership. So it's important that we kind of get the right fit, which is why an application and a discussion is we recommend first, and that's our approach. The second, this is a 6-month investment. And it is important that we get to know each other and confirm fit to ensure that it's a right partnership for us all. Okay, and I say that in the kindest way. If we're going to be stuck together for 6 months, we have to make sure that this is going to work for both of us. So that's really a big part. And actually, one more thing, because we have only a limited number of members that we invite to each cohort. Again, it's important that we kind of are curating that a little bit, both for the success of the program and also for your success, which is fundamental to that. All right. Now going into, will the program work? So my challenge or goal is unique. Will the Legacy Level Leadership Accelerator program work for me? The way I'll answer that is the way that I was a coach of mine who I respect dearly, and shout out to Leanne, helped me the first time that I made my first big coaching investment. She said, it sounds like you are trying to get a guarantee from someone else on a topic that really only you can guarantee for yourself. And that really created a shift in my mind because, from my perspective, given my experience, given my expertise, given the work that I've done, given the investment that I've made both in my development as well as in getting skilled for my clients, I will put the 100% in, and I have no doubt that it'll work, especially as I look at other clients who I work with. And this is where the fit comes in and why we go through the application process. I have no doubt that it'll work. The question for you is, are you confident about your investment in yourself, right? Because this is about, ultimately comes down to self-investment and personal commitment. So if we're saying, well, it's not the right time, I don't have the energy, then that is how you're going to show up. If you invest in this and you say, yes, I am going to put in the 100% and I am 100% confident in myself for this, then your success is there. Remember, this is not a step-by-step program for people who want to learn a skill. There are other programs for that, which is great. This is a transformational accelerator, right? Where we are coaching and working together and partnering together to get you to where it is that you want to do, where you want to go. So it very much is a partnership and a one-on-one. So you showing up and how you show up is the biggest determination to that success, including your belief as to whether or not this will work for you. And again, I'm 100% in. I've seen this work. I've got client examples, and we can discuss that again if you apply around ones that are specific to you and more relevant to you. So I have no doubt when I feel like it's a fit that it will work. It's really up to you to match that belief, dedication, commitment, and investments that I will be putting in as well, and that other members of the group program will be putting in. We're almost at the end. So final question I got, I'm pretty resourceful. Do you provide offline, more cost-effective resources that will get me to the same place? That's a good question. And it ended with, maybe I can just figure it out myself. So again, I work with serial high achievers, leaders who have continuously been successful. And we work on really big goals and challenges, right? Stuff that's either so new that it's scary and there's a question mark as to how you can achieve it. And there's a recognition that there's mindset and performance, leadership mindset and leadership performance issues that may be holding you back. And it's often something that's been long-lived. So if you're the same and if you could figure it out yourself, then you probably already would. So this is not about Google. We aren't Google. We're not a training program. If you can Google the answer or use one of the many resources we provide, then that's awesome. Do. We've got an online, like a LinkedIn and Facebook group that you can tap into. I've got loads of resources, a newsletter. If you have questions, I'm happy to share with you. However, if what I've said so far resonates and you're really looking for leadership transformation and to accelerate that transformation with someone who has likely been in the same shoes as you and a cohort of people who are in a similar boat, then I would say that while you can use other resources, the effectiveness and the speed and the scale of them will be different because it is a different investment, right? But if you've got so far with what I'm saying and this resonates and you're looking to stop that cycle and create that huge shift, then that's a completely different ballgame. And I know, as always, just with the question and the question of cost effectiveness, finances are always a question. However, remember that cost and investment is not just about money. Time, energy, satisfaction, happiness, those are also costs, and they are significantly more valuable than money, right? You can always get money back, but you cannot get your time and your energy back. And I would emphasize that also to say that with clients who I've worked with, where they've been able to move into more impactful, more senior leadership roles, that's also often come with an uptick in finances, which then covers the cost if you want to look at that ROI. But if I were to emphasize it again, money is one aspect, it's not the only. So if the goal that you're looking to achieve, for example, you saying, for the past 5 years, I've been craving and dreaming about becoming a more senior leader, running my own business, that's 5 years of cost of not achieving that goal. How valuable is that? or you want to accelerate into more senior leadership position because, end of the day, you want to be CEO of your company or a similar company in the industry. If you are on track to get there in the next, I don't know, you see yourself there in the next 10 years, but you sense that there's something that's holding you back from going faster. If you can go faster and you're now there in 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years, that's 5 years won. So just think about investments in terms of like, what are you investing in and what's your criteria for success? And simple questions that I've asked myself and I also often ask others is like, ultimately, what is it that you're trying to achieve? How long have you been trying to solve the problem? And how long more do you want to wait, like to get it done? What's the cost? Or actually, what's your current approach and how well has it been working for you? If you say it's been working, then keep doing that, right? Do more of it. But if you're saying it's not working, then something potentially and probably needs to shift. What's the cost, right? We go back to cost of it not working for you. And what if you could find another approach which allows you to achieve what it is that you want at significantly less cost? All right. So again, we think about money as a cost, but time and energy are also significant. So what is that worth if, for example, you're able to achieve that goal or tackle that challenge quicker, faster, with less energy, more energized, more satisfied, more fulfilled this year and in the next 6 months? All right. So legacy level leadership, it's all about transforming how you lead forever, not just for now. And for me, that's invaluable, which is why I do what I do. The final question, so we've got 4 more minutes or so. How do I apply? And I'm going to share my screen to show you because it is super easy. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. Perfect. And all you have to do, and I'll put a link, is go to www.ottalkleadership.com, right? Just like that. Or you can go into our main website page, which is otitoconsulting.com. And within here, you will see a link for us to chat, or when you scroll down, you will see different options, right? Whether you want one-on-one coaching, legacy level leadership, or Otito Business Services. And if you click on legacy level leadership, it will take you to the same page that I was just on. And how to apply? Well, first of all, just going through the web page. Again, you'll see a little bit about the legacy level leadership program. It emphasizes it's a 6-month program and what it is that you'd be looking to achieve: leadership skills, mindset, and performance, and a little bit about the program if you want more. There's a bit more about me for those who don't know me and my story. So just a little bit of a blurb, as well as some information about my certifications and where I've worked previously. And on that question, and I know identifying if this is for you is so important, there's a little bit more about like, is this right for you? So reading through, does this sound like you? And the section around whether this is true. If you read through that and you get a sense that basically, provided that you can find a coach that understands what you want and can partner with you, if those all resonate, then this might be right. I speak a little bit about, our philosophy and the fact that we understand kind of the circumstances and pressures. And the Accelerator program is specifically designed to address these things, right? You're already busy. You don't want something generic. You want to work with a strategic partner, and you know that people matters, right? So it feels like this is right for you. And you also get a little bit of an insight into some of our clients here at Otito and what we've helped them achieve, so that you can again get a sense of whether or not you kind of fit within the type of results, or the results you're looking for fits into what we've achieved for our clients. And then we go into a little bit more about the program itself. So I won't go into all the details, but you'll learn a little bit more about our approach. So again, if these words resonate, something that's structured, that's personalized, yes, even in a group program, because we start everything with a diagnostic, including a leadership mindset diagnostic, which is so amazing. Holistic, transformational, action focused, because we're always talking about the action. This is not about learning, it's about integrating and expertise led. Then if that resonates, this may be for you. And then what you get inside, again, it's all about assessments, right? We start with and do very simple, very quick diagnostic assessments so that we can pinpoint what it is that will be best for you, not throwing spaghetti at the wall, but really highlighting what will make the shift and what will help you lead quickly, as well as training the 5 core pillars. We talk about mindset coaching, jump starting kind of your personalized uh, success plan. Got Q&As and peer working again. The partners that you work with are critical, that you can read a little bit more about, what you actually get in the program. And then the 5 core pillars, as I mentioned, the top section is really around the skill part. So we speak a lot about self-leadership, thought leadership, and people leadership, which are all critical to every leadership journey, as well as leadership mindset and performance. A little bit more about me. And of course, throughout all of this, you can at any point go, yes, this feels right, and just click on a button for us to chat. Or going down, you see a little bit more about the investment. So as I mentioned, it's about just under £5,000 on a one payment. And if you want something more flexible, because I know finances can be a little bit challenging, and breaking it up maybe is often a lot more accessible. So there is an initial deposit to get onto the program. So it's just under, so it's £1,497. And then 5 monthly payments throughout the 6-month program of £794. And then there's a little bit more of a Q&A. But if you've got this far, you probably got all of the answers that you want, but feel free to read. And then to apply, all you do is click apply now. Then you get access to my calendar. I do try to keep this up to date because the spots do fill up pretty quickly. But what you can go in is click on a date, click on a time, in your time zone. I'm currently in Lagos, hence West Africa time zone. Click on a time, hit confirm, and then there's a really quick Q&A, because I feel like now you know loads about me and loads about the program, but I want to know a little bit about you before we speak. Answer the questions, hit submit or schedule event, and then we chat. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to stop my screen. Hopefully that answered all the questions. I did that in like about 30 minutes, which is impressive because there were loads of questions. If there's anything else that you want to ask, just reach out to me or my team. Join us in the Legacy Level Leadership program. We'd love to have you, provided we find that it's a fit. So what I would say is next steps are, if you have any questions, I would just encourage you to go through that application process really, really quick, set up time so that we can have a chat. And I hope to speak to you guys and see you soon. Until then, stay focused, stay energized, and have a great rest of your day as well as a great weekend. Speak soon.